and welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Esthitude. On this podcast, I share with you inspiring, engaging, educative posts for you as you journey to live your best life, even as I journey to live mine. I'm excited to share with you today, as you can most likely tell from my voice. Of course, I'm your girl Esthitude, and well, let's get into it. Okay, it's been a minute. I think I said that in my last post or last episode, and I'm saying it again. And I don't think this is likely the first podcast episode I'll be sharing in 2022. Wow! Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. All the years, and this episode is actually triggered by an email I got. So it was, this thing where you get a photo memory from maybe Google Drive or OneDrive. So mine was from OneDrive, and it was memories from the time I took a road trip to Ghana with my friend Dorcas and Esther. Okay, so I think we had two of my friends. And as I just looked through the pictures, I then saw other pictures that were in my gallery from 3 years ago and all of that. As I just looked through and then I shared some on my WhatsApp status, it just came to me that, wow, look at me. So now this was 3 years ago, just the year after 2019, that was 2020, COVID came up and people couldn't go around as much. Of course, 2021 was a bit better and all, but it just came to me that, so if I had not taken that trip that year, that's how I wouldn't have had that memory and all of that. So as I just thought about all of this introspectively, it just came to me there are certain things I think people should do when they're still young. I mean, we'll be young for a while, but I mean, there's certain experiences that we may not go back to. You get what I'm trying to say, right? So let's say I'm going to title this, I'm not very sure, but things to do in your 20s, maybe not. But certain things I think every young person should do or know in their young age. And I'm going to be sharing a lot from personal experiences this time around. Over my few years of life as a 16-year-old babe that I am, I'll give it your earpieces or earpods. Anyways, over the past few years, I've learned a thing or two, personally, career-wise, spiritually, financially, that I think that I can share from my wealth of experience. And of course, I would also like to hear from you. So wherever you're listening to me from, be it like social media, Anchor, Spotify, just reach out to me, Esthitude, Esthitude, on Twitter, Instagram. Just shoot me a DM and tell me your thoughts, comments, feedback, and all of that. Okay? So yes, what are certain things that I think young people should do? So for me, I have a career in tech, I studied computer engineering. So just to provide context for when I talk about my career experiences. So I started working before going for NYSC. Did some bit of software engineering, so software development as a graduate intern. Then I went to didn't serve in the company, so I served in a rural area. You can catch all that just on my blog. Just visit my blog, esthitudeplace.com, and search for NYSC. You'll see a lot of my NYSC posts. It was in a creek region in Delta State I served at the time. So coming back to Lagos after NYSC, I was supposed to go back to where I was working, but it didn't work out and all of that. So I was home for a month or two, and as someone who is used to like being at work or getting things done or whatever, it wasn't nice. I wasn't happy being at home. I remember almost being frustrated. I think I was frustrated at some point because it was already supposed to be sure for me that, see, you just go back to where you were working before NYSC and just continue working there, but it didn't work out. So I started applying to other companies. So during that period, which led me to one of the first things I think every young person should do, especially when you're trying to navigate your path career-wise, you're just starting out, you have a career maybe or not. I think the first thing we should do is volunteer, right? Volunteering these days, I'm not so active in the volunteering space as I was 3, 4, 5 years ago. I was so active that year that I actually founded a volunteering organization. that connected people with volunteering opportunities. But back to my story. So that period where I was at home, waiting, searching for jobs, going for interviews, and all the sorts, right? I think one of the things I actually did then was to volunteer. And I think my first event I volunteered at was one of these events that Onye Etoniro Oko, now she's Oko, Onye organized as the True Living Conference. I remember meeting a number of my friends that we've gone on to do amazing things there. I think the year was 2017. I met Paul, I think I met Mary, Ogudemo. Okay, beyond meeting ourselves on social media, we met physically at those periods. So volunteering for me would then continue. I remember I volunteered a lot at events, volunteered up until volunteering as a blogger, right? Event blogger, volunteering as event coordinator on the logistic team. I did a lot of volunteering, and let me now tell you where it worked out for me, some of the benefits. I remember the first paid gig I got for my blog as a blogger. I was as an event blogger. And I got that paid gig because at times when I would go to events, whether I volunteer at the event or not, I would just do like a recap of the event on my blog. So these guys were looking for someone who would cover their event for them. And I mean, I normally would do it for free, but these guys were looking for someone to pay. And I think, I don't even remember who referred me or how I was referred or whatever. But I got the offer and I covered that event and I was paid a whooping 10k. So now it may seem like a small money to you, but then I think the year was 2018, and just to write a blog post, attend an event, and they will pay you 10k. Normally I would attend the event, write the blog post, I would get a dime. So it was volunteering and all of that got me that opportunity, amongst a number of other opportunities. I remember the first event that my organization, Outliers Volunteering, in case you know it, yep, that year we were there. Yeah, so the event we first volunteered that I organized. I didn't organize the event, but I organized people to volunteer at that event. Came through a plug I had met through volunteering. So yes, let me not overflog it, but you get what I'm trying to say, volunteer. So now you will ask me, how will I volunteer in this age and time? You know, maybe there are not so much physical events as we had that time. So yeah, I think you can volunteer even more intentionally now. I do not suggest that because you see this event volunteer, see that other one volunteer, but be strategic. So maybe it's even with a company. Are you looking to learn a new skill or you want to transition to a new career path? Cold email some of these companies to say, see, I have this certain skills. I want to volunteer with your company for this certain period, for this certain role. Reach out. I mean, people would respond. Or maybe reach out to volunteer as a PA for someone. Or even people who organize online events. You can still reach out to volunteer, say on their media team, their publicity team, their planning team, and it works. See, I know people who through volunteering have gotten a lot of opportunities. So why can't you? All right, so that's the first thing I was going to share about volunteer. Another thing I really want to talk about is being financially literate. I remember, now back to my personal story. I remember I don't remember the year, but probably 2018, 2019, I decided to be financially literate. This is because as someone who likes to set goals, I usually would set goals, say, this year I want to save so amount of money. Then at the end of the year, I would do my review and I didn't save half of that amount. So I realized there was a gap, right? And the gap was I wasn't financially literate. I intentionally started following a lot of pages on social media that were financially inclined, talk about Money Africa, Money Beagle, all of that stuff. I also started listening to more people talk about their money management. Then I remember that I also subscribed. So at a point, I subscribed to join Money Africa community where they share tips, investment is And I think every young person needs to learn how to manage money. You'll be surprised that there's so many opportunities you miss out on There's so many ways you could have managed your money better, but because you do not learn how to manage your finance, you're either blowing away money, overspending, not having enough money, always borrowing. Now, I mean, you don't have to earn like even 100k before you start saving. These are things that I didn't know. Like, if you want to save when you start earning $1 million, you're waiting till you earn your first $1 million, you may wait forever. But the little habits, one thing I've learned is to build habits from the small things. So even if I'm earning 50k, just the minimum, save 500. You will say it's small, but say it's an habit, right? Save 500 naira per month. Just remove 500. If you want to be a little more strict, remove 1,000. 500 is 10%, right? Remove it and keep. Because it's small, you may not be able to invest it, but take it and keep. Just keep per month. At the end of that year, you would have saved intentionally 500 times 12, 6k, or if you did 1,000, 12k. That's for someone who is earning 50k. And the funny thing is, you will always adapt. So it's just as if you close your mind to say, no, I'm not earning 50k, I'm earning 49k. So whatever I'm spending, let me spend it on the 49k. That's being intentional, with your finance. So be intentional with your finance, save and invest. As far as your money then grows, you start investing. Okay, great. The next thing I'll talk about is reading. Yes, I've run several things in this life, including a book club. But beyond running a book club, what I've learned about reading, and I'm still learning, is reading opens up your mind to new things. I know that we are in an age where there's a lot of social media, there's a lot of phone pressing, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen all of that. But the people who read are the people who lead. And that brings me back to a memory that I have of someone who reached out. There was a time I was reading so voraciously that I began to share certain insights on my... This was some years ago. I began to share certain insights on my social media, and then on my WhatsApp. I think it was my WhatsApp stories at the time. And then someone reached out to say, how do you know all of these things? Like, I'm like, fam, yeah, me? Well, it's a book I read. And, I had to intentionally, because again, life will get busy and all of that. I had to intentionally tell myself, see, you have to read. And reading now for me doesn't even just mean picking up a book to read. That's still one. But when I get to work, for instance, dedicating a minute or two to just go through, blogs on areas of my career, read up on general things that are even outside of my career, be aware of what's going on. I intentionally curate my social media in such a way that I'm getting educative information or certain information about certain areas. That's the kind of environment I create, so that I'm picking not learnings. There's certain people that even today I'll check their WhatsApp stories, not because it's because I know that I'll pick a thing or two and I will learn. So maybe the thing is to have a learning mindset, have the mindset of a learner, always wanting to learn new things, be open. Yeah, so that's another one. That's number 3. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying this, because let me put the disclaimer. This is one of the most impulsive, I use the word, podcast episode I've ever made, because I literally just thought about this like less than 30 minutes ago before putting this together, but I think it's going to be a good one. Anyways, I hope you're following. Yeah, so let's go ahead. So we've talked about 3 things. Next thing I want to talk about is the need for a mentor. Now, this mentorship thing, sometimes it can be like the elephant in the room. Everybody says have a mentor, but how easy is it? I've had several experiences in mentorship, thankfully, over the years. I've had group mentorship sessions. I've had paid mentorship sessions where I actually pay to be mentored. I've had people sort of gain interest in me and just like mentor me indirectly and directly. I've also had cases where there's certain people I just like look up to, and I let them mentor me from afar. So things like reading their books, following them on social media, trying to listen to events where they speak, that kind of thing. So there are different aspects to mentorship. Do you follow? You do not have to wait till, I want this certain person to mentor me. Are you reading their books? Are you following their works? Do you follow them on LinkedIn? Do you understand their thought process? And how are you also positioning yourself? Are you positioning yourself in a way that people even want to, they want to influence, I don't know, mentor you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So for me, I've attended. There are people who used to do like free mentorship or mentoring sessions where they'll just organize an event. I attended one. I'm thinking about that memory. It makes me laugh. It was a session by Bankole Williams at the time. Probably this is about a minimum of 4 years ago. A minimum. And I actually left from work. You know how to use lunch break. I was on the mainland and session was in Lekki on the island, Lagos, for those who are listening from outside Lagos or Nigeria. And I had to quickly, I didn't even know if I took a bus or a cab, I don't know. I just rushed down, I think it was during my lunch break or whatever. Attended the session and then picked a thing or two and then headed back to the office. This is some of the things we did that year. I have also paid, so like the Wimby's mentoring program, I've been a mentee in the mentoring program, paid to be in it at the time. These are things. So, and I think it will just lead. It will also lead me. It will tie back to the financial literacy thing. Invest in yourself beyond investing in agri, real estate, and all those stuff. Invest in yourself. See, that's one thing I think people should do in their young age, and every age, everywhere you find, every age or every time, every season you find yourself. Personal investment is like the greatest form of investment, and it's one thing that has helped me so much because I would not hesitate to pay for trainings. I would not hesitate to pay for programs, certifications, and they always pay off because I won't do, for instance, a training today and then take on a new job that would not match, as in, like be more than my former job or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So have a mentor or have mentors. People usually talk about having a sponsor. I feel like that is also another tricky one, but it happens. When you're intentional about your life, you have people who will they will carry your matter on their head. Yeah? Do you follow? Okay, this is getting long. Let me quickly run through. Okay, so another one is taking care of yourself. Fam, you get to live once, please. You have to take care. Be intentional. Do you get? Little things like choosing to use very good products for your skin, for your hair, for your nails, they're crucial. Eating well. You see, people will be like, oh, well, I'm so busy, I ain't got time for this. Fam, you only get to live once, and it's the person that's alive that will do all those things you're doing. So eat well, go for medical checkup. If you're working with a company, it's easier, right? Where you have annual checkups. Please maximize it. Use your HMO. Go and do these checkups because a lot of people are falling sick, young people having high blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension, and you're like, what happened? How did they miss it? So if you go for regular checkups, if you listen to your body, exercise, it will help you be on a way to, a healthy life, then take yourself out, movie doesn't have to, you don't have to go with somebody before, you have to wait for somebody before you go for movie dates, spa dates, personal spa dates. Why not, please? Okay. So take care of yourself, then have a community that supports you. I think I've said a lot. Okay, yeah, have a community of intentional, and that community is not a one-day journey. I know people reach out to say, oh, I want to be in your circle, I want to be your friend, but see, it takes a journey. Even people that reach out, for us, people that are like my close circle of friends, we've been doing this thing for, some of us have been doing it for 10 years now, just being there, fighting, coming back, gelling, knowing how to be there for each other, supporting each other. So be intentional. Like this year I decided that, I want to have even other circle of friends, because again, sometimes you have friends for different seasons and for different reasons. You have friends who are like career. See, if you want motivation in your career, just talk to this person. You have financial friends for financial seasons, friends for ministerial, spiritual seasons, and all of that. So build this circle of friends and be that friend that you want to have. Be that type of person. You also attracts energy, if there's anything like that. You get me? Then be spiritual, fam. Yeah. It's already 20 minutes. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I think it's good to have a faith life that is fervent. I talked about it in my book. Yes, fam, I'm writing a book, or I wrote a book. It'll be out. It's already out for pre-order, so you can pre-order. I'll put the details in the description for this podcast episode, so you can read it. But having an intimate walk with God, see, it's needed though. I don't even know how to explain this. Sorry, there's some noise in my background. Apologies. But see, the journey of life is so I don't even know. You need prayers. You need people who will pray with you. You need a faith system that would drive you. Because again, you would face so many temptations, challenges, and if you do not have a belief system, it's just gonna go with the wind, and you may crash very soon. So yes, get into the intimate walk with God, and then pre-order my book, fam. Yes, Love Letters to Abba is the title. Okay, so look out for opportunities. Further your education. I talked about investing in yourself. It could be a master's, it could be some new certifications, it could be joining a professional body. Just do it. Then get a passport. One of my friends, Mary Ogundimo, she talks about this a lot on her status, because I may not talk about it, but see, there are some opportunities that you will not even have when you don't do certain things. I feel like certain things you should do as a young person. Have a passport and a valid means of identification. It can't be 20 years old. No, it can't be 25. Please let me not give a certain age, and you guys will say, are you like saying that if I don't have it at this age, I'm already done for? No. But I feel like there's certain things you may not be able to get if you don't have certain things. Do you get? So yes, have an international passport, please. Get one. Plan towards it. Budget, and get one before the end of the year, please. So what else? Further education, and then show up for yourself the way you want others to show up for you to travel. Okay, travel is all what brought up this this podcast episode, because I was looking at my pictures from when we went to Ghana. That's why I and my friend Darren trip. Travel will be cool. Explore. You don't even have to go outside your local community. Start with where you are, and just be intentional about it. Go to places, go to the beach, take a walk and calm your head. Just try out things. Do you understand? Now this is getting really long, and I hope you picked a point or two. What are the lessons you've learned? What are the experience or lessons you've also learned in your life's journey? Do you want to share with me on my social media, or even record a response? So if you're listening to me from Anchor, you can actually record a response to this and I'll hear you. If not, you can share with me on social media, Esthitude. Yeah, just drop me a chat in my DMs. I would love to read from you. So that's it for today. I'm not sure what I'll title this, but I think I may just title it like things to do in your 20s. I'm not sure. I think that may be what I'll title it. But thank you for listening till I come your way again. Stay amazing. Keep living your best life. Love and life. Love and light. Always. Cheers.